Hello and welcome to Pillars of Eternity. Alright, before we head out and probably do a horrific mistake, I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna eat some dragon meat here. And let's go. A wall of thick vines raised from the mud of the bog. They grow unnatural, twinging cords, bristling with thorns. Though there are gaps between the vines, maneuvering through will take some time and care. As I approached, the vines shuddered and pulled away from me, forming a clear path through which to cross. I passed safely, only to hear the rustling behind me, as the vines barred the passage, curling into a tight knot of thorns and vegetation. I noticed movement up ahead. A robed figure rushed forward. Stumbling through the mud, he blows a single piercing tone on a signal horn. The sound carried through the bog, echoing off the cloistered trees and ruins. Beneath it, I heard an ominous rumble, and the murky water of the north began to bubble and pitch. A slick and scaly snot crest the water's surface. It is the only warning you receive before a massive beast raised from the bog, in the shadow of a mud and bog water. The dragon shakes his vegetation from its horns, then lowered its head to set keen eye upon you. You know, dragons don't need horns, mostly because they can breathe fire. They can fly. They have a large claws. Horns are kind of an overkill and you don't need them. I held my ground. The dragon watched me disinterestedly. It stood still, as if waiting. I noticed a small dark shape in the distance. I felt a sudden buffering gust of wind from above as the shape grew. A winged silhouette descended swiftly onto the clearing. As the second dragon came to a heavy landing, I took note of the figure atop its back, a woman with sweeping horn, garbed in flowed robes. She slided from the dragon's back in one graceful movement.
The Watcher of Cadnua. I expected you'd find us eventually. I'm a little more surprised to find you're still carrying that abomination around. I imagine Consulhalt is better company without his tongue.
Did you send an assassin after me?
I sent a scout. Her task was to follow you, no more. But her death was always a possibility. One she accepted. I am Lengroth.
You're not old enough to be Lingroth. Even Consulhalt had to resort to magic.
A very different kind of magic. But you're right. There was a man called Lengroth long ago, and there have been many by that name since. Lengroth knew something Consulhalt did not. The brevity of life should be embraced, not feared. Each generation brings with it renewed strength and saves us from stagnation. When his time came, Lengroth was willing to let go, to leave his memories and body behind. He entrusted the gift of his life force, his vibrant spirit, to a worthy successor. Consulhalt clung to his pathetic existence like a leech. And there are others like him, who would see all the world serve as kindling, if only their flame can go on burning. Consulhalt's knowledge cannot outlive him.
You're doing the exact same thing, transferring souls.
You misunderstand. A wolf devouring a hare has done nothing outside its nature. One life feeds the next. Ours is the work of generations, many minds coming together to strengthen one another.
Animmonsters meddle with soul energy all the time.
If copper wire and glass tubes were enough. Still, If the day ever comes that an animancer should rival Consulhot's middling competence, I expect we will pay them a visit.
You can't just destroy knowledge you don't approve of.
What good has Consulhot's knowledge brought to anyone? He was a coward, fleeing death, and you unmade him all the same. He would have used your very essence for fuel. A lesser death than you deserve, I think. But you made it out.
Oh, so you're not here to kill me.
In truth, I am glad you came. It saves me the effort of chasing you.
You know, Councilhead and I weren't exactly friends.
And for killing him, at least, I do thank you. But you should not have interfered. Commander Ballerin would have brought me the Phylactery. All of this could have been avoided.
Commander Ballerin. He was a fool and a weakling. His army was already failing his assault. His siege proved nothing. He was a pathetic little man, entangled in a greater scheme. Why is the Phylactery so dangerous?
Think on it. You must have seen how desperately Kith cling to their lives. What measures they're willing to take to ensure theirs is the consciousness that lingers longest. The Phylactery was to be Consulhot's great triumph over death. All the evil that Kith have done in search of falsehoods would pale in the face of what they will do for the truth.
I can just give it to you if you want.
We could simply take it from you. After.
I'm trying to keep things civil here.
Yes. It feels a little macabre for my tastes, like the Stelgar with a hair.
How can I convince you that I'm not a threat?
Not difficult.
You are making a huge mistake here.
Better luck on the next turn of the wheel, my friend. I'm sure you'll be remembered.
And I'll make sure that every single one of your followers is buried deep, so that no one can remember your pathetic code.
I've never eaten a watcher before.
Don't worry, once you taste it, I'll make sure to make your teeth into a necklace to wear around my neck until I reach a fireplace where I'm gonna bury them. Pathetic little scaly wizard. Okay, I'm gonna try to flee over here to prepare the spells. Oh, you can paralyze me, that's great. Okay, there's no way I can do that. Okay, stop. What the hell, game? What the hell?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'd be glad to.
That was completely not fair.
Following
Seems like they're not gonna chase me, which means I can do this.
Act 10.
Interesting. Go slow, mate. Attack those guys. You should take your gun and attack them. Seriously, what was that about? Kill him. Since you are not gonna come to me, I'm gonna send in my weapons to take you down. Okay, you attack them. Ooh, nice. Yeah, keep wasting those spells, sweetheart.
Following your lead. Phylactery.
Okay, attack there. Seems like you can at least injure him a little. Interesting. Fireworks! Yay!
Yes. Phylactery.
Keep attacking him. You know what? Take him out. No, no, no. Keep attacking him. Take him down. Oh no, they petrified my bow. That's a sentence, I just said.
Phylactery.
Okay, kill him. Wow, did you all kill... got killed with the same attack?
Following your lead.
It's gonna take a long time, but I can milk it, because honestly the game here is to blame. It's not following its own rules. So, are you bleeding? Still not. This one's near dead anyway.
Following your lead. Phylactery.
Okay. Honestly, hate that sound. Use on this guy. Well, nice.
Following your lead. Phylactery.
Come on, bow, run! Run like a bow. Ouch. Okay. He's almost dead anyway. And he's gone.
Phylactery.
Attack this one. Make sure he's bleeding. Can you take him out? Can you? Sure. You can take them all down, except the dragons. I'll save them for dessert. Oh. Bad. Bad indeed. Okay, mate. Use this.
Following your lead.
And attack. Huh.
Ready one.
No, go slow. Okay. Let's see, can you cast this on that guy? That work? Excellent. There goes one of your dragons. What did you say? No, kill him. The notion that can stand against
Following your
me.
lead. Phylactery.
Keep sending those weapons. Except the bow. Okay, go slow. We don't need to rush. I never do. Honestly, I think it was the Tsar. The one that made the biggest difference here. Again, as always, with dragons she is the one unique. Variable. That ensures either victory or at least a very costly defeat. Which I don't think we've had against dragons by now. Push her to the ground, and I want you to burn her. Oh no, she died. I feel so good about that.
Following your lead.
Focus on this creature. Make him bleed. I'm sorry. Here's an arrow for you, mate. And another one. That is one very resilient bow.
Yes.
Don't need to be slow anymore.
Phylactery.
Once it's only one dragon, we can take him out. I firmly believe that we can. There goes one of you, mates. There goes the other one. Both. Is there anything they can't do? And again, I don't think they make any sense.
Phylactery.
What's the point of having a bow and an arrow when you can just send an arrow and pretend like it was fired from a bow? Wow, you're weak. Ah, I am a flowing ball. I have arrows to shoot from somewhere. I have no idea. We don't have a quiver. They just appear, like the bow. You might think it doesn't make sense, but you're wrong.
Following your lead. Phylactery.
Okay, let's kill the tentacles as well. Shouldn't you disappear on your own? I'm just curious about that. I mean, your mage is dead. You shouldn't be here again. I think the game's changed. Ouch. Okay, that to a degree. Make the flames fly. Knock this one down. And make this one bleed. Come on! Do you have so many? Ah, cool.
Following your lead. Phylactery. Yes.
Fortunately, I have all the time in the world here.
Phylactery.
There goes one of your tentacles. And you. Burn it. Yeah, that's it. And they disappeared.
Following your lead.
Yeah, that just disappeared. Honestly, I think that's the best spell in the game right now. If there was a scroll to do that, I would totally have a lot of them in my inventory. Oh, dragon, doesn't seem like you wanted to. How are you immune? How are the other weapons not immune? Thank you. The last of the tentacles has fallen. Wait, you're injured? What did you do? Huh.
I'm here.
Can't imagine those
Following
weapons
your
did all that.
I'm here.
Okay, very slowly, mates.
Following your lead.
First of all,
Phylactery.
Absolutely.
use this. Come on, use this. Oh yeah, that works.
Can't get a good shot at this.
Don't have a lot of time. Punch him. Punch him a lot. Didn't work. Keep doing that. He's paralyzed, dude. You shouldn't be able to miss him. Summon that weapon. Yeah. Ow.
Step.
Okay, he did run. Good. You're right, mate. Needed to use this. Tamak, you're prone. He's fine. Wrong guy.
Hey.
Doesn't seem like they want to target him. Oh wow, that backlash is just a monster.
Let's get a good shot.
Why did you stop fighting? I thought he was dead.
That's embarrassing.
Okay, good. Come on.
Damn.
There he goes. Pathetic little wizard. And her pathetic little pet dragons. Anyway, I won the Teeth of the Dark One. Ah. Also, we can use that skin, can't we now? Exceptional Rod, Exceptional Wand, Apprentice's Tomb, Langrad's Tomb. Haven't seen those guys before, this one I have. Superior Elemental Bulwark. The wizard is protected by elemental shields that guard him or her against burn, corrode, freeze and shock damage until they are overwhelmed, or the duration expires. Definitely will need to rest now, again.
Slow and silent.
Ah. I'm sorry, why can't I loot this thing? There it is, the Dark Talon. Sharp and immersively sharp. Cycle, shaped and immersively sharp. This talon was removed from the slain body of a drake. More like a dragon.
Hello.
Also, mushrooms.
Hello?
That's why we're here. Picking up mushrooms. One more turn for an adventure, you say? Oh, that's gonna be fun. Okay, there is also one more thing we need to do before we leave this place. Yeah, taking some care, I pass without accidents. I'm not certain what I'm looking for. Okay, that will do. This weathered piece of parchment holds a series of nearly illegible notes, and what appears to be some kind of a diagram. A series of symbols, lines, breviary of crudely drawn cycles. One particular set of 5 symbols has been repeatedly cycled. What does that even mean? Right. I think this is the quest item we were looking for. I don't know how I missed it the first time, but apparently I did.
I'm on the trail.
I'm certain you are. Okay, let's talk to you, Benno. You're back, get me out of here. The edge of the ritual cycle stretched into the mud. You notice 5 familiar charters, just like the ones in the note you found. Without knowing what to look for, there'd be no more than fervor in the dirt. I crouched down, but I couldn't see anything inherently interesting about the scratches. What? Did you find something? Past the barrier, Ben watched me with rapt interest. A flicker of movement caught my attention, and I looked up to see that I'd gained an audience. In the dim light the spirit is nearly invisible, a shimmer of essence, and I could barely pick up against the fog. I began to see more shapes, closing in the fog. The first raised its hand. Wait, please. Did you trap this man here? What? Who is it? Save me. Benno turned, looking around wildly. Shut up. Pardon caught us here. But his spirit slips our grasp. We would continue our work, if you will let us. It is all the purpose that remains to us. The patterment of a self, a craft of virtue. This man, Benno, he pocket thought with jealousy, with petty lusts. He thrives from his partner. He abandoned his child. But his essence holds the same brilliant potential of any man. And while your soul, Watcher, is bright and fierce, thinks he is fragmented, weak, let us mend it, shape it. Can you shape anyone's soul? Those set before us freely, those weakened by many thorns upon the wheel, yours has been straightened by your own journey, like tempered steel. That's not really my decision. There is no one else. Verdun had only his teachings, his hopes to guide him. You can see us, hear us. You can't just alter a man's nature at your whim, no matter his flaws. Are the drunkard and the vice inseparable? Do we do harm in teaching a cruel man the pain his action caused, or else the bitterness of loss? You cannot be the same as you were in the beginning of your journey here, but are you not yourself? And how would you exactly do that? As one might carve wrought from apple, it is painless, freeing. He would feel himself unburdened. And what exactly do you want from me? Give us time to work upon him, then we shall release him, and you may do with him as you please. I honestly don't think I need you to do anything to him. I see the spellbearer rippled, and Barno looked up in excited anticipation. But I sensed too a sudden energy in the air, as an upswell of the soul essence bound to this place. The gathered spirit howled and thrilled furiously, and this time Benno flinched at the sound. Take them out, all of them. There goes one of you. My, aren't we amazing? How were you not able to see him there? Where are you going? Well, easy.
Go for some shut-eye about now.
Don't worry, Eder. Once we get out of here, I'm gonna make sure you rest well. And God Noah. You did it! I'm free! Herla, where are you? Oh, yeah. That'll save you.
Slow and silent.
The Devil of Karak returned to the stronghold. Mushrooms, yay! Thanks again. If I ever stop foot in this place again, it'll be too soon. Don't you mean never, anyway? Hey, there you are. Venom mentioned something about you selling his hide. Well, I wouldn't put it... Yeah, Venom is grateful, and so am I. You have a huge help here. It's from my personal stock. Figure you deserve this. What, just a copper? Let nobody run off into the bog again. Believe me, it's been tempting. Let's see what you have for sale. Consider yourself my favorite customer. What is this, by the way? Lore and perception. Let's purchase it. This long-tailed hood is associated with scholars and tacticians of its often seen upon the brow of all who live by their wits rather than their physical prowess. We don't need the torch. No, seriously, I want to purchase those. Anything else? Nature regeneration, yeah, sure, that's something I need. Anyway, let's go back to Kadnoa and rest.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
There's nothing else, right? Yeah, I know those quests. Nope, that's it, alright. Found the bog dragon, so let's upgrade our armor, shall we? Making this legendary definitely, because it's mine and I like it. Heather, yours is the armor that needs to be upgraded the most. And what about yours? Damage reduction, that's it? Yeah. You know, I don't care. What about yours? Legendary. This one we cannot actually enchant any further. Yours doesn't matter at all. Yeah, sure, let's do that. You're gonna have a legendary armor. Of perception, apparently, to make you more accurate. Kraken's Eye, yeah, no. Dexterity +4, cool. So how does that look? Yeah, it somehow fits me. Don't know how though. It just does. Fine, I can remain with that for the time being. Okay, this for you, mate. We also need to refill your scrolls. I've never used that, but all defenses for 22 seconds. Well, the Moonwell is definitely the better spell. Do you honestly have nothing I can use? Critical endurance. You know, that was a pretty decent spell actually. Scroll of Paralysis. Area of effect paralysis for 6 seconds versus Will. It requires Ghost Essence, so it's incredibly easy to craft this. So, paralysis for 9.9 seconds, which is okay. Or 9 seconds. I believe you are better than that. It's area of effect spell. What about that confusion spell? No, not those. Actually, major recovery. "30 seconds, not bad. Immunity to Charmed and Dominated. Those weren't gonna work for me here. The Woe of Flames, Bala, Major Endurance. I guess Beowa, Moonwell, Missile Barrage. What's the difference between this one and this one? This scroll describes a spell with which the caster can send a sweeping array of fiery projectiles against a single target, crushing damage to foes. And cause a shockwave of crushing damage. I guess both of them are cool. Wasn't there a spell that can actually raise me from death? Against Restrain? Revival, there you go. The no scroll can reach beyond the shroud and return one's fallen comrade to life. This spell can prevent their passing for it restores incapacitated and vigor, required to set them back upon their feet. Revive with 93 endurance. Grab that one. Does require a Dragon Talon. 93. '88. '90. For 1 second. What the hell does that mean? 1.2 seconds. Okay. Go to Kadnua, we'll rest there, and actually that's where I'm gonna end the episode because... Oh, let's actually read my biology, I mean biography, whatever. We can read that. It's important, trust me. Let's hope there are no more surprises here or there.
We could go for some shut-eye about
Amazing.
now.
You could fit a whole village in here.
Yeah, let's take a look, shall we? Oh, right. Forget about lore. Beastry. Kraken, Lich, Lion, Lurker, Ogre, Ooze, Dragon. There you go. The Adver Dragon. Big horns. Ah, this one looks cool. Open Dragon. It looks nothing like the dragon we fought. Ganathecus. Full-grown dragon. Only dragon can mate. Dragons are more intelligent. Turisopus. We defeated one Turisopus. You know, their damage resistance isn't that amazing. How were they able to... Oh. Fortitude, okay. Why do you need spikes on the back? I wasn't even gonna notice them if they weren't that big. And yeah, I understand the other dragon spikes. The open dragon, who doesn't have horns, but has 4 eyes. This one looks kinda cool. Wish I could read their biography or something, but whatever. Let's read mine at least. And put a rest to the series once and for all. Your whole life, you lived the trail of discovery and exploration, fighting irresistible and siren co of the far reaches and unknown places of the world. Many lead their lives perfectly content with the confines of one small town. But to you, such fate would have been death sentence. No, not really. Just choose what to do. Though you came from that far archipelago. Yeah, we can say that far archipelago first and foremost. For first time I've actually read that. You spend your days at sea amongst those who would subjugate others. For a time you joined them in their pillaging and destruction, but you came to realize that none of it was enough to satisfy you, and you hungered for great things. For you, Gilded Veil is merely a stepping stone, and you expect that you will not remain there for long before wandering somewhere else. You fell ill traveling with a caravan bound for the Gilded Veil. The caravan master sent you off with one of his guides, Saliska, in search of a remedy. While out searching for the remedy, you are ambushed and return to your camp to find it slaughtered at the hands of an angry locals. You dealt with them, only to be nearly killed by a wind that threatened to share your soul to your body. Shouldn't it be shatter? It doesn't matter. You escaped with Hideon and Celestia into an ancient ruin. You emerged from the ruin to find strange ritual being performed at some kind of ancient machine. There was a man there who commanded others, and there was something oddly familiar about him. As he left, the machine began to spin, generating some kind of energy, and there was a blast that felt like windstorm you had encountered earlier. It turned out the others who had been with you to ash, and neither Hideon nor Celestia survived. You were knocked down, unconscious by the blast, and when you came to, you felt odd. You were seeing things, hearing things. You departed the ruins attempting to reach the Gilded Veil on foot, where hopefully you would be able to find someone who could cure you. When you arrived in the Gilded Veil, you found that the town was not the growing and prosperous settlement you had been told it was. Instead, you found a dying town at the mercy of a phenomenon called the Wilden's Legacy, and received a cold welcome from the town magistrate. Your prospect for settling in the Gilded Veil looked bleaker as it was, but they may have been totally dashed when the tolling bell of Redrick's Hold announced that their master's child had not been born in good health. The magistrate advised you to rest in an inn. You held at Adran's wizard named Alod, out of scrape with the locals at the Gilded Veil. He was undoubtedly grateful to find company for the road. When you tried to sleep, it was restless, full of encountering whispers, and you experienced a vivid nightmare. You saw an old dwarven woman hanging from the tree in the center of the Gilded Veil. She said a single word, "Watcher." You approached the hung dwarf woman from your dreams, and found that though some means you were able to converse with her, you learned that you are a watcher, perhaps a result of your burst into death and the ruins, and that this has given you some kind of outwardly vision. Though the dwarf was able to tell you few details, she advised you to speak to an old watcher named Marald, who is master of the keep in the area, and might be able to help. In Gilded Veil you met Ether, a local farmer and follower of Eothas. His family's fate and his brother's role in the Saints' War had earned him the suspicion of the local authorities, so you decided to make your way out of town together. The magistrate confirmed that you would not be able to settle in the Gilded Veil, nor even stay there for more than a few days. You have come all the long way for nothing. Durance perished. You know, that's part of my biography. I mean, how many people have we killed thus far? I just want to see. Wow, Sagani did a lot of damage there. I defeated the most enemies. Most time in the party, Heather. Most powerful when he defeated, Zawa. Ah, there we go. 4,420. You could have named them all, you know. I was gonna read them. It was gonna be incredibly boring and incredibly annoying, but I was gonna do it. In spite. Right, where were we? When you reached Cadnua, you met a Rutai scholar named Kana Raw. He joined you in hopes of finding an ancient and sacred text buried beneath the keep. You arrived at Cadnua to find a place haunted by hostile spirits, its master's whereabouts unknown to the Shroud, who watched over the keep. Marwood was in the dungeon of his own keep, hiding from the spirits hallucinating by his own tortured mind. His soul was awakened to his past life, and some irreconcilable conflict from long ago within him seemed to have driven him mad. He cautioned you that you may share this condition as well as his fate. However, he did also suggest that there might be a way to undo your awakening. He told you to seek out the Linden Key, a group you saw before the ruins, and determined from them how to undo it. Marwood's body was taken over by a personality from one of his past lives, and you were forced to slay him. You searched his soul for valuable knowledge and caught a glimpse of a room deep below the keep that may contain something of value. You began exploring extensive dungeons beneath the keep. You came across a huntress Sagani at the crossroad in the wilderness. She had journeyed from Nasek in hopes of finding a reincarnating old elder from her village. Impressed by your ability to see the tracked cells, she accepted your offer to travel together. In Defiance Bay, you found the temple of Wedeka, the purported patron goddess of the Linden Key, but it had burned down long ago. A spirit there suggested that there was also a section of the temple below ground. You met a Norland druid named Haravis in the wood. He said he was eventually bound for Twin Realms, but he was keen on exploring them in the meantime, and he seemed eager to be safely with a group. Kana found the tablet, only to learn that it had long since been destroyed. You found your way into the temple of Wedeka from the catacombs beneath the Defiance Bay. You slew the London Key members congregated there, and found several promising lands regarding their operations, and you hoped that this might lead you to the man you saw at the ruins, who started the machine and cursed your awakening cost. Alot revealed that his soul is awakened, and that he shares his consciousness with a crude yet spirited woman named Isomir. In Blackberry Sanctum you found the man you were searching for. He had been in possession of a body of a patient there, and he seemed to be using it to ruin the career of a man who had once been one of Direwood's most prominent animancers, a man who had been working on a cure for the Wilden's legacy. The man wasn't interested in helping you with your awakening, at least not voluntarily. He made a hasty exit from the Centrium, sending his soul's form to body, and left you to clean up the mess. You were summoned by Lady Webb of Duran's Row. You seemed to know something of who you were and what you'd done. You met Lady Webb in her chambers in Harvard's house. She wanted to know why you pursued the London Key, and was able to tell you about the man you were looking for. Theos X Akanon, a man who reincarnates with perfect memory of his past lives, and who orchestrates plots that take lifetimes to come to fruition. You found a district of Heritage Hill abandoned, overruled by rotting creatures, neither alive nor truly dead. With the help of an animancer named Adolam and an ancient language expert named Ikampa, both of whom functioned despite their own deaths, you were able to learn that the machine atop the tower in Heritage Hill, Tier Nolad, has the ability to anchor souls to their bodies, causing those bodies to remain animated, even in death. What was more, Inkanta explained that there are other similar machines scattered throughout Direwood that function as relays, sending souls from one place to the next. You destroyed the machine on Tier Neth, and the souls it held captive were disintegrated along with it. You slew the would-be usurper Kalosk, allowing Lord Redrick to maintain his hold. You journeyed to Redrick's hall and slew the Lord, who had caused so much grief for the Gilded Veil. In ruin of Kailang's Raylak, you discovered more ashen bodies of members of the London Key, apparently dead after an act of self-sacrifice that had somehow catalyzed the Ingwidian machine there. As a watcher, you were able to reveal one of the agent's last moments, and from then it became clear that these machines play a role in Wilden's legacy. You finally learned that Elder's brother, Woden, fought for Retsaros in the Saints' War. After meeting Wilden himself, Eder came to realize that he may never know why his brother chose to support Weldon. You reach Stewart only to find it under attack and half destroyed by a mob of ogres. You help townsfolk defeat them, but the damage was already severe. Rengild, the mayor of Stewart, told you about Dungan's Battery, an ancient dwarven fortress, and the town's attempt to reach the powerful forge within. You fought the ogre matron Bargan and slew her in her clan's cave in Rustonwood. You met Galvino, an eccentric Cantrose old inventor living near Dungan's Battery. He told you about the tradition of Kantraks amongst the Pengrian dwarves, and introduced you to the Devil of Korak, a construct he built. The Devil of Korak, a sentient construct with soul of a murderer, asked you to join, and you agreed. Then the Devil of Korak revealed that she is still hunting for the men who took part in the purge of her village. After finding Harmke, the man the Devil of Korak has sought, you read his cell and explained that he was, in fact, responsible for the destruction of the Devil's home in Cold Morn. She took her revenge on him. At the bottom of Durgan's Battery, you found the White Forge which Pargran dwarves used to build themselves into the fortress. You learned how to open the gates of Durgan's Battery, and became the first person in 2 centuries to enter the old fortress. After speaking with the battery's commandants, you realized the soul of the dwarves back to the wheel, where they can rejoice in the cycle of life and death. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. As you remember, I chose to disintegrate those souls. After your adventures in Durgan's Battery, you dreamed of an enemy that descended from the mountains and hunted you to your keep. You realized that something in the White March would destroy you if left unchecked. You learned that the Iron Flail, an armed band of Red Sarons, that had built a fort near Durgan's Battery in hopes of sealing the White Forge. While in Stoward, you met Zawa, a monk on Instant Hill, and invited him to travel with you. Yeah, it was actually kind of important for me to do that. Zawa told you about a training as a warrior and about his master, who held back the final part of Zawa's instruction. At the Iron Flail's fort, you encountered a mysterious Andrade. She killed herself before you could speak with her. But in her departing soul, you saw the Abbey of the Fallen Moon, the key to stopping the army of Eyeless. You reached the Abbey of the Fallen Moon and discovered Abaddon's ancient corpse. You learned that he had sacrificed himself to save Eora civilization from a fragment of a moon which Ondra had pulled from the sky. You reforged Abaddon's hammer with fragments that you found amongst their remains, thus armed yourself and were ready to face the Eyeless. You tracked the Eyeless to the hollow piece of the moon buried in Charon's scar. You destroyed the fragment with the Eyeless inside, ending their threat once and for all. In the essence of the islands, you recognize piece of Abaddon, their original creator. You restored the essence to Abaddon, giving him the memory of his dead and his former purpose of preservation. Deep within the endless path of Adnua, you encountered an ancient and powerful dragon and killed it. With everyone you've seen, you were able to convince Lady Webb that the London Key was behind Wilden's legacy and that their plot involved Animancers taking the blame for it. She advised you to seek the Duke of Lovegrain, who is currently holding hearing in the palace on the future of Animancy. She thought he would listen to you and provided you were able to secure an invite to the hearing. You were able to convince House Duamenel to allow you to join their delegation at the Animancy's hearing. At the Animancy hearing, though, your arguments about Animancy seemed to hold little sway. You made a case against the London Key. But Duke Avar had even so much as to finish the proclamation. However, Theos possessed the body of the Animancer and assassinated the Duke, sending all of Defiance Bay into a frenzy. You followed Theos' trail in Duran's Row, where you found all of his ciphers murdered, including Lady Webb. But in examining the last moments of her life through her soul, you were able to learn that Theos was headed next for the Twin Elms. Alad confessed of being member of the London Key, but claimed that after learning of the crimes and the organization's has perpetuated throughout the Dawood, he wanted to help you stop them. You agreed to let him continue with you. In Twin Elms, you found that most districts were closed to outsiders, but were able to persuade the Anfatha to allow you inside. At the base of the two giant trees, you met a pair of Delagman sisters. They explained to you that your case was misguided, for no awakening can be undone, but they did still see value in your quest, explaining that if you could find the root of what troubled your soul, you might yet be able to resolve it. In either case, only Theos would have the knowledge I seek. I am to pursue him to the subterranean ingredient city called Sun in Shadow. Dalagan offered a path there, but it's one I will not be allowed to follow without intervention of the gods. You eventually found Persok, who had been reincarnated as a deer. Unfortunately, he had been mortally wounded by Galfathian hunters. Sagani had just enough time to tell him about his family back in Masuk. Aravis met Sangden, another druid with whom he shared Atom's Stangler farm. Aravis came to the terms with the long-ago maured and subsequent obstacles. Gawain enlisted your help in forcing confrontation between the lions and the bears, whose stalemate he found undesirable. You saw both animals killed, neither word of worship to your own mind. Yeah, sure, that was the case. Heia gave you a vision of winged terror that had taken over the temple there. You found the dragon protecting its young. You slew the dragon, making the area safe for Helia's followers to return. Rainguard asked you to seal a doorway to his domain. The Frosthound breach in his temple of Noonfrost. It was being opened by a group of pale elves seeking the final dead and removal from the chair of Fred's will. You sealed the forced hell breach, as Rainguard had commanded, leaving the elf to contemplate his continued existence. You communicated with the gods in the Tir Evron, and learned that Theos' plot does not end with the destruction of Animancy in Dyewood. He intended to give the souls he displaced to Wedica, a move that would likely restore her dominion over the other gods. Barrett demanded the deaths of the Archdruid Resin and Erona, High Oveta and the Goat Grove, and you saw their lives ended. Wow. Okay. And we will rest. Thanks for the Constitution and Athletics. Great, so this is where I'm gonna end this adventure. So for everyone who joined me, thank you very much, and I hope I see you when a new adventure unfolds itself. Have a nice day.